U.S. President Donald Trump says the U.S. has, quote, captured Venezuela's President Nicolás Maduro and his wife. The news came after the U.S. launched military strikes against the country. Multiple explosions heard through the Venezuelan capital. Trump made the announcement on Truth Social confirming the attack. He also says Maduro and his wife have been flown out of the country. Venezuela declared a national emergency and denounced, quote, the military aggression, demanding, quote, immediate proof of life for Maduro and his wife. Trump will be holding a news conference later this morning, and we'll bring you that live once it starts. For now, let's bring in journalist Nick Harper. He joins us now this morning from Washington. Nick, walk us through the dynamics between U.S. President Trump and Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro.
Well, it's certainly not a close or friendly relationship, Marianne. The US government, under Donald Trump during his first term and now his second, they don't view Nicolás Maduro as a legitimate president. They point back to the elections in 2018 and 2024 in Venezuela, that they say that Nicolás Maduro stole. They say that vote rigging was involved. And therefore the US and many other countries around the world simply say that Maduro was not a legitimate president. But what we've seen in recent months under Donald Trump's second term is very much a pressure campaign against the Venezuelan government. It would seem to try and get Maduro to step down. Of course, there was not that anticipated capture of the Venezuelan president. But that pressure campaign against its financial flows, the seizure of 2 Venezuelan-linked oil tankers back in December, the increase of military assets from the United States in the region, deploying many troops and warships to the region, but also carrying out airstrikes against alleged drug smuggling boats that were coming from Venezuela. More than 24 of those strikes, killing more than 100 during Donald Trump's second term in office. So there has been that pressure from the United States against Nicolás Maduro that's really ramped up and, of course, has now culminated in this military attack and capture of the Venezuelan president himself.
Let's talk more about the capture of President Maduro and his wife, who we're told has been flown out of the country, according to Trump's post. What do we know about where things go from here and what potential charges they may now face?
Well, in terms of where things go from here, it really all seems to centre on those charges and the potential of a criminal trial in the United States. Pam Bondi, the US Attorney General, put out a post detailing the charges that were now being levelled against Nicolás Maduro and his wife. He has been indicted in the New York Southern District, and therefore the likelihood is that that is where he will stand trial. So at some point, we should see Nicolás Maduro have to appear in court for that initial arraignment before being detained before a potential trial. But we also have heard from the US Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, who told a US senator in a phone call that that was the plan for Maduro, to get him into court, to face those charges. Of course, Donald Trump, that press conference in just under 3 hours' time from now, is likely to give more details. He's hinted that there would be that. But really, I think the possibility that Donald Trump speaks and gives more details, that is forthcoming. But will he provide some sort of proof of life, pictures or videos of Maduro in US custody? I think that will be the big thing that not just people in the United States and Venezuela, but internationally will be looking for.
All right. Thanks so much for this, Nick. Journalist Nick Harper in Washington.